Good morning. I haven't really decided if I was going to do long form videos. Really just wanted to play music and share a minute of great songs. Kind of explain what my channel's about. Um, it's not about how good or bad I am at guitar or shredding, solos, none of that. Really just playing the coolest parts of all the songs that I loved and grew up with, and that inspired me to listen to heavy metal and rock and roll. So uh, that's really what this is about, just sharing good memories. Hopefully it brings up good feelings and thoughts for you, positive thoughts, something that you can recollect, and that's really all it's about. YouTube is filled with negativity. The internet is filled with negativity. Seems like everything that gets fed to us is some sort of negative energy or some divisive material. So I just want to unite people that love rock and roll and heavy metal, and also uh, something that's been very important in my life, which is music and the guitar. I've been playing for 32 years now. Um, it's funny. My older brother, actually got a guitar first, and it was a BC Rich Wave, which is super rare. And it was a real BC Rich Wave. Uh, Funny, my dad has zero musical talent. Oh, here comes Elvira. This is Elvira the cat. I pulled her out of a customer's engine bay. They came up for repair work, and she was stuck in the engine bay. So pulled her out, and she's the mistress of the dark. Anyways, my dad has zero musical talent. Couldn't sing a note, couldn't play a note. The only artist that I think he knew was Johnny Cash, Hank Williams Jr., and Patsy Cline. The only tape I've ever seen my dad play or own, I said tape, and I meant tape, was a Patsy Cline tape. So, my mother was the rock and roll of the family, and my oldest brother, I grew up idolizing this dude and spending a lot of time in his room, and him and I more so connected than me and my other two brothers. There was four of us. So growing up in the 80s, I liked what he liked, and I heard what he liked. I was born in 82, so I missed a lot of that for the formative musical years. Really just kind of getting into music in the early 90s as, 8, 10-year-old boy. But I remembered the music that he listened to, and it always stuck with me. And if you were a child in the 80s, then you remember how crazy some of that music was, and how new and shocking, and it just had this darkness, and like I don't know how to explain it. It was just like everybody was seeing crazy. Funny now, people that dress like girls aren't seen the same way that they were in the 80s. I'm not making a character assessment on anybody. I'm just saying, then if you dressed like a chick and played rock and roll, you were cool and you got all the girls. Now it's a different story. However, I remember seeing the cover of Metal Health from Quiet Riot when he's wearing the mask, and I thought, dude, this is insane. And Van Halen, and just all the music from the 80s that I heard over the radio, it always stuck with me. And so the 90s was, as a kid at that time, was kind of a depressing time. Now I have an appreciation for that music, but then I hated grunge, I hated alternative. It killed music, it killed the Guitar Hero, all the things that everybody else already talks about. So my brother got this guitar, and one of my first bands that I really liked was Kiss, and Gene Simmons played bass, so I decided I wanted a bass, and I was going to play bass. And then my brother decided he was going to play bass because he joined. This is not my oldest brother, this is my second oldest brother. And so then I bought that BC Rich from him, which was a gift from my dad to him. I bought that for $90 that I'd saved up. Kids, you make these deals, you think you're winning and losing. $90 is an insult to that guitar, but that was my first guitar. And so I was too impatient to take lessons. My parents, they supported me. They did not support heavy metal. Uh, the satanic panic and the Christian uprising of the 80s was all real, and the same in the 90s. And so some of the music that I was getting into wasn't favored with my parents. They didn't like it and didn't think that that's where I needed to head. Anyhow, most of what I learned to play was just self-taught. I just messed around and played. Um, you know, I joined a heavy metal band. It was really a Christian death metal band, which is funny. But anyways, I joined bands, continued to love music. Unfortunately, I made some choices in my teenage years that got me into drugs and addiction, and so I got away from the commitment that it takes to be really good. I could play, but I lost that drive because of drugs and alcohol and just, teenage depression, life choices. So I'm not as good as I should be. For somebody that's been playing for 32 years, I should be phenomenally better. When YouTube came out in the mid 2000s, I was hooked because now I could watch all my heavy metal videos that I didn't get to see growing up, because grunge ruled MTV at the time, and you didn't have a resource for the videos that came out during the 80s. So I was able to find lots of music that I remembered and CDs that I'd bought, and then see videos I never got to see instructional videos I always wanted, like the Vinnie Vincent video, which is hilarious. But YouTube opened up the door for guitarists. So now I could see lessons and instructionals on songs that you just couldn't find. And a lot of the guitar tab books that they sold back in the day were wrong. And I bought a couple of them and was like, this is not what it sounds like on the album. So YouTube has definitely played a role in how much better I've gotten over the years. Some of the stuff that I've played on here, I've known for decades. Some of it I've learned and watched and can pick up if I want to learn. The Cruzados, Don't Throw Stones. There is nobody out there that plays that damn song. I had to learn that song by watching live shots of the band and then messing around with it. But you couldn't find the Cruzados, Don't Throw Stones. It just is from the movie Roadhouse. And I loved that song when it came out of the movie. So YouTube has given me a whole new set of resources to learn and play like it does so many. However, it was also extremely depressing that I see kids on there, young people, who've been playing for 5 years and can destroy me. So absolutely is this video or my channel not about my technical prowess, because I'm nowhere near as good as a million others on YouTube. I just like to play. I just love music, and it's just about sharing a minute of good rock and roll. The reason I decided to finally do a long form kind of about it is Ozzy, man. Ozzy was so inspirational and formative for me to want to pick up the guitar. Hands down, my most favorite player that really made me want it was Randy Rhoads. When I bought the Ozzy Osbourne tribute album, where he's holding Randy up by the leg, dude, the look of Randy Rhoads was like, that's what I want to be. That guy. So Ozzy was extremely important. All of his music. I was born in 1982. 6 months after I'm born, Speak of the Devil comes out. Since I've been alive, Ozzy's been there. He's been a part of culture. He's always maintained himself in the spotlight. His reality show was groundbreaking and crazy. It allowed a lot of people to get to know Ozzy in a different way. Because when I was growing up, he was biting the heads off of bats and doves and the devil, and none of that was true. Surprise, the media lied to us then, and they lied to us now. You got to see how much Ozzy loved his children and how much his children loved Ozzy, and the troubled but long marriage with Sharon. And people have their opinions of Sharon, and and the musical career, and none of us really know because we weren't there. And there's two sides to every story, and sometimes there's 10 sides. So I'm not going to get into all that. They were very successful at what they did. They were very dedicated and driven people. And to see Ozzy's last final show was really great, and I'm glad that he got to go out on his own terms. Seems like it anyways. I'm sure he'd rather not have had Parkinson's disease and suffered from all that. But to get out there and play, and I knew I just had done the Ultimate Sin cover, because when I saw that tribute, I knew it was time. When I saw Ozzy struggle to get up and struggle to sing, I knew that he knew this was it. So I was pretty sure that it was going to come shortly after, and it did. And I'm sad that Ozzy's gone. He was a real rock and roll rebel, and incredibly inspirational for me. All of his guitars. I loved Randy. I loved Jakey Lee. I loved Zakk Wylde a lot, dude. No Rest for the Wicked was a crazy album. Crazy album. All of them were good. I didn't really get into, after Osmosis, I kind of didn't like the commercialized pop version of Ozzy, but nonetheless, there were still some great songs, and I supported anything Ozzy did because it's Ozzy. What a great dude, and to watch his show and learn more about him, that Ozzy knew God, and Ozzy knew Christ, and all that devil stuff was really just nonsense. I'm not saying that he didn't dabble in the occult at some point in his life and follow the wrong thing, but just like I did, I made choices to do drugs and not be the best citizen out there, and that was my choice, and we can all make changes. And that's really the most important thing that I got from Ozzy's life, was that it doesn't matter where you start, it's where you end. And this isn't, all right, move, come on, girl. This isn't a religious video. I'm just telling you how it is. I think it's quite obvious that we were created and to have a purpose here, for whatever reason that purpose might be. And I'm happy that Ozzy got to serve his purpose, and I know in my heart that he was received by God, and that heaven just got a lot even cooler than it already is, I'm sure. His spirit will live on forever. People will always know Ozzy as long as this system continues. And you can tell a tree by its fruit. And Ozzy's children are excellent fruit. And I think that says a lot about his character. Nobody's ever come out, none of his children have ever come out and said that Ozzy did something hurtful to them, that he had beat them or abused them. They clearly have a lot of love for their dad. And that's like the most important thing to me about Ozzy, was his character, and he was a loving guy. And really, that's why I chose to just upload Fire in the Sky. I know 1 million tribute videos are out there right now. One of my favorite songs is Mama, I'm Coming Home, and I know 1 billion people are playing that one and doing that solo, and I've done it before, and I even recorded one to do it again, and I decided, that's what everybody's doing, so I'm going to do something a little different. And if you listen to the lyrics in Fire in the Sky, it's autobiographical about Ozzy, and so that's why I chose that one. I choose a lot of the songs that I choose to do something different. Sometimes there are songs that everybody plays. It just is what it is. But for the most part, I try to choose. That's why I haven't done Crazy Train. Everybody's doing Crazy Train, and I can't do it as good as them, so no point. But I chose that as my tribute, just to be a little different, and some of the songs I choose are to be different and play stuff that doesn't get played a lot, or maybe you haven't heard. So that's kind of what the whole goal is with the channel, to do something like that. Hope that everybody has a blessed day, that the year continues to be an excellent one for you, and if your year hasn't been good, I hope it gets better. Only want good things for everybody. I appreciate anybody who's given their time to my channel. You don't have to, and you do, and I appreciate that very much. So, Elvira, rock and roll.